South Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe.
Hi, I'm Sara Corn. Welcome to the season finale of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. Today we're going to talk about residential life. I'm here with my RA, Miss Meehan.
Hi, I'm Tracy Meehan. I'm the resident advisor at Columbia Residence Hall. Today we thought, Mr. Bowman and I, he is here. He's our communications director. We thought it would be a great idea to maybe spontaneously talk with the girls about how they feel about living in a residence hall, because they do come to school and they come very young and they're away from their parents. So it's a real transition. And so we thought it would be really interesting for them to discuss what it's like. So maybe we should introduce Sarah, our housemates.
Yeah, so these are a couple of my housemates.
I'm Morgan Mitchum.
I'm Jackie Oliver.
Hi, I'm Amaya Bethay.
That's right. We may have one more coming. So these are the gals that are left. The seniors moved out last week. We've all been a little sad about that, right? So this is the underclassmen, and they're going to be moving out today and tomorrow. And I would like to say that you guys are all pretty young. So it's really mature that you have moved out away from your parents at such a young age. So really quickly, go back down and let's talk about how old each of you are.
So I'm 16.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Okay.
I'm also 16 and I'm a sophomore.
I'm 17 and I'm a junior.
And I'm 16 and I am a sophomore.
Okay. All right. So Sarah, think
Yes,
about some of the questions you were thinking of, what it's like living in a house with other girls.
Right. So living in a house with other girls is something that, was new to me. I'd always been good at like sleepaway camps. That's never bothered me being away from my family. But I've never been one to be homesick, but that is something that you do deal with here. But it's almost a bond with the girls that you live with. You see each other all day, every day, and then you come back home and you're living with that people. And so that's kind of different from a traditional school. In a traditional school, you only see those people at school. And so it's a new environment that you're in, and it's something that I feel like has had a positive impact on me. I maybe would have never hung out with Morgan, but, we were roommates and, we lived together and we go to house meetings all the time. And so now we do have that bond and that friendship. And I feel like that's something that has really impacted me, living in a house with a bunch of girls.
Morgan, how do you feel about that?
I feel great. I loved having Sarah as my roommate. And my experience living in the house, this is my second year here, and I've never really got homesick.
Right? So it's a structured environment, though, right?
Yes.
So we're not just a sorority house, although I would like it to be that, right? We have fun.
Yes.
But it's very structured, and that's true in every house. We all, and I go over this with all of you, that we all have the same list. We all go by the same, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I like to say Morgan is our strong one. If we need something to be done that is maybe, I don't know, like yucky, we get Morgan to do it. Morgan, the trash, because we do chores. And Jackie, what do you think about living?
It's definitely different from living in a house full of just your whole family. You definitely form a bond with all of these girls like immediately, and we all know how to take care of our stuff and just keep the house clean.
Right. And then do you automatically keep it clean, or do you know once a week somebody's coming around? You're clean anyway, but
Yes.
Tell them about room inspections.
So for room inspections, we just have to make sure our bed is made, we don't have stuff on the floor, and our room is just overall pretty neat and tidy. No food left out. So this is usually an easy thing for me to do. Also for my roommate, we usually always have our beds made and everything neat and tidy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really not a big deal. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's still...
But it's not always easy for
it's not
everyone.
easy.
So the structured environment helps. It's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Amaya, you've only been with us since January. So, how do you feel about living away from home?
I like it. I love it actually. It's different because I do live with my brothers and my mom and my sister. But when they said it's a learning curve and it's also a bonding experience, it is. It's really different. And if you decide to go to college, I feel like this gives you a even better like knowledge on what you're.
Yeah, you're already a step ahead,
And I
right?
love cleaning.
She does. So I went to Bath and Body today and got some little wall. There was a wallflower sale for $3.50, and there was a Fabuloso scent, and I got you one. Just saying, got other scents. Anyway, Fabuloso is her favorite scent. Let's see what else. Let's talk about group meetings. What do you guys like about our group meetings?
I feel like our group meetings are something that is beneficial to our house. It just gives us a second to breathe and all come together and just talk about what we need to discuss in our house. I feel like it keeps us organized as well. Our house has, every person in our house has chores. And I feel like during the week that our meetings give us the opportunity to be like, hey, this is your job this week. Just make sure it gets done. It's not really like, oh, if you don't do this thing, we just all kind of help each other out and work together through those chores, and just the house meetings gives us an opportunity to work together.
And we bond.
Right.
And we hear about what's coming on. So come on in. Do you want me to pull her chair around? Okay, bring your chair around.
And
This
now-
is Brooklyn. And I'm going, here, come this way. Okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit more about our meetings. Our meetings not only are to go over those things that we need to get done this week, but it also gives us an opportunity to have fun. Miss Meehan is really good about that. She always has something to eat. We love snacks in our house. And we just kind of make the meeting something you look forward to instead of, oh, I have a house meeting tonight. It's something we're all excited about. We're like, oh, what's Miss Meehan cooking? What are we going to do? What games are we going to play? Like, we always make our meetings really fun. And I feel like that's something super unique about our house, is it's always a fun time, and we just make it something we look forward to.
And I think, too, I like for you guys to cook. So I
Yes.
know you did cooking one night. You did those fabulous Red Lobster biscuits.
Yes, those were good.
I mean, so a lot of the times I just like bringing stuff that we don't cook at our house
Yeah.
to the dorms because otherwise they're not going to get eaten.
Yeah.
And usually everybody enjoys what we bring. So at that point, it's just a really good way to bond because you're getting to know each other, you're getting to know your cooking too.
Yeah.
So it's a conversation starter.
I sent Mr. Bowman a lot of pictures. So there's pictures of you guys cooking. And I know you like to bake cookies, and Morgan Morgan likes to eat. Morgan's my helper, though. Morgan's a big help as far as any social activities that we've hosted. And we did that good bit this year, too. So I was going to ask you guys, what are the 4 times that I have to see you?
7:30, maybe?
In the morning before school.
In the morning before school.
Right.
At 4, maybe? Right after school.
Not necessarily, I don't have to see you at 4 o'clock, but when do you have to check in with me?
Oh, at till time.
Till, right.
And then
7,
9:30.
9:30 is curfew, and then I check
And then you check in at
and
11.
then I say goodnight, right?
Yes.
Okay, so who would like to talk about what TIL is and what that stands for?
If nobody else wants to, I can.
Okay, you can go.
Okay, so TIL is, I don't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's an hour we have where you're supposed to be working on your schoolwork. It's kind of is just a structured time that makes sure we get everything done for school. We have a very high passing rate, and that I feel like TIL has a lot to do with that because it gives you that time that you sit down and you're focused. During TIL, the doors must be open. You need to be in your house or in TIL Central working, and it's just something that gives you that time that you're like, oh, what do I have to do tonight? And I feel like TIL is something that has kept me so organized this year because it gives me just a minute to, I might be running to the horse barn right after school, or I might be doing something after school, and then, after TIL, I'm doing something else. Like, it just gives me a minute that I have to focus on schoolwork.
It's a moment to take a break. It's time for independent learning.
Yeah.
And I know that's something that Mr. Thompson, our principal, is really strong about. So he wants to make sure that that hour of study hall is happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So is there, trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, what is Miss Meehan's pet peeve?
Laundry.
The laundry.
Yes. What?
The laundry. Do not leave your clothes in the laundry. And do not wash your blankets in there because it's going to make it flood.
That's right. That's right. That's my only pet peeve, you guys. But we have one washer and one dryer, and it has to last for up to 8 people for an entire year. And that's one way of learning, again, how to be respectful of
Right.
others, right? But other than that, we've all had a really good year.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to add, Brooklyn?
Really, other than like the dorm situation really helped me get out of my shell. So, regardless of whether you're talking to these people every day, being around them every day,
Yeah.
living with them, can really make friends here crazy.
And you're my night owl.
Yeah, I stay up like way too late, but
But that's okay because we all have our.
Yes.
Okay. So, go over one thing you do like about living in the house.
I can go and show my dance skills to everybody, and you know, at 9:30 at night, I'm going around saying good night, y'all.
Yeah, she's very personable. I have pictures of that, by the way. And Jackie's kind of quiet. So, Jackie, what's your extracurricular, by the way? What is it that you do every day?
Every day after school, I go and practice shotgun shooting plays.
It's kind of
And
cool.
I have competitions every single weekend. But my favorite thing about being in the house is definitely just the people in the house because it's just nice all being all together. And then you also get to see them in school, so you could just feel free to like knock on someone's door and go in, talk about your problems, get to know anyone. It's really nice.
Morgan?
I like living in the house. It's fun being in the house with different people that have like different like personalities
Mm-hmm.
and getting to know them and just spending time with them, making bonds.
Right.
They get on my
Okay.
nerves.
And Sarah, back to you.
One of my favorite things about living in the house is I've lived with Morgan. Me and Morgan were roommates, but now Morgan and Brooklyn are roommates, and now I'm roommates with Jackie. And that's something that I really loved is because I learned to live with different types of people. I'm a very clean, neat freak, and I learned that sometimes I can't be OCD. And but I also love that I can just bring these girls to whatever with me. I'm like, hey, we got a 4-H meeting. I don't want to go by myself. Come with me. And they'll do anything. We'll all do anything for each other, anything to help each other. And I feel like that's just something that is very important, is that you bond with the people you're living with because, you know, you don't want drama. You want to have fun and you want it to be a good year. And I feel like our house has done a really good job with that. Everybody gets along and we've all made it work.
Do we have officers for next year in our house?
I'm the 4-H vice president for next year, and
Okay,
then I'm the
awesome.
committee chair of AgFest for FFA.
Okay.
And I'm the committee chair of supervised agriculture experiences for FFA next year.
Okay. All right. And Amaya, you a parliamentarian something?
Oh, I actually go to nationals next month for parliamentary procedures for FBLA.
Okay. And then are you going to be doing something?
I go to journalism for nationals for FBLA.
And I feel like
So cool.
that's something really cool also about living in our house is because I'm 4-H and FFA. I'm all about 4-H and FFA. That is my thing. Horses, dogs, outside. Love that. And, you know, Amaya and Brooklyn are FBLA, and I would have never known what that was. I would have never known anything about that if it wasn't for living with them, and they would never know about me running around and judging animals and going to Perry for judging and all this crazy stuff. So I feel like that's also, you learn so much from living with all these people about what's so different about everybody.
That is true. Quickly, your expertise, your agriculture expertise that you're here for school for.
Yes. So I'm on the animal science pathway, but I am mainly into equine. I do keep a horse here on campus sometimes, but I qualified this year to go to about 4 different events. The first one being in the end of July, early August in Perry, Georgia, where I'll be judging equine athletes.
Awesome. And then you came to school here to do, what is your pathway?
Plant animal systems.
Okay.
Systems
But you've been spending your afternoons at the
at
horse
the
barn.
horse barn.
Okay. And Jackie?
So I'm really just here for shotgun and living at a house. Living at a house with everyone just makes it really easy. Like, you don't have to drive all the way to your house and then all the way to practice. You could just go home, change if you need to.
Right across the street from the cafeteria.
Yeah, and
Location, location, location. And you're here, what pathway are you on?
And science, but next year I'm doing horticulture because I'm more of a plants person.
Okay.
And so,
All right.
I'm animal science, but I focus in small animal. So I have
Yes.
2 rabbits. I show rabbits, but I also do horse judging, horse hippology with Sarah.
Yes.
So it's a mix of equine, small animal.
And I feel like that's so fun because y'all would never have thought to see Jackie with a horse, and she loves my horse, and she comes and sees her all the time.
really cool.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into what it's actually like to go from living at home with your parents to moving into a house with a really cool grandma, just kidding, but with an RA, because it could be any of the RAs are different ages. And like I said earlier, we do follow certain lists and structure. But what is that like when you first come in, your day one coming in? What's that like? I know it was a little emotional for you. So tell what that was like.
So I've always definitely been a homebody. I love being in my bed. I love being with my family. And I was supposed to come here in January, but we had some plans change, and I abruptly came here a week before I was, like a week after I toured. And so that was kind of difficult for me, definitely getting to know everyone. But just having the structure in your house, you know when something's going to happen, you know when you're going to get your medication, you know when you get to go to dinner, you know who's going to be in the house. It's nice having the structure there.
Okay.
Right.
Do you agree?
I do, cause I got here second semester as well, and yeah, they sent me a message that I was accepted into the school, and they told me I need to move in 3 days, and it was a very big adjustment because I was not ready to leave. But I feel like after I got out of my ways, and I met people, it's been a cool experience.
Right.
Okay.
And for me, my mom is my best friend, and that was something that was really like, oh my gosh, she's not here with me. And that's something that I had to learn to be accountable for myself. Nobody is gonna, make me get up in the morning and get to school. I've got to wake up. I mean, Miss Meehan does do a pretty good job of that because she knows I will oversleep. But I've got to get up and I've got to get myself to school, and nobody's gonna make sure I did my math homework. I've got to do it myself. And, nobody's gonna go feed the horse for me in the morning. I've got to get up and do that. Like,
Right.
It's something that you learn to be accountable for yourself, and you learn that sometimes you just have to make the best of what you have. And when Jackie moved in, I forgot she was moving in that day. They told me the Friday before, and she was moving in on Sunday. I forgot she was moving in, and I just walked in the room, and there she was, and I was like, hey, girl. And that's just kind of how our relationship sparked, and I feel like
Right.
that's something that really helped me adjust to having a new roommate, and I feel like it helped her adjust to moving from her family. It's just, you have to not have that awkward phase with people. You just got to be yourself and learn to work with it, and that's something.
So it's funny, you guys hear me coming in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
And I didn't know that. So
She shuffles down the hall. in her
I shuffle down the hall, and they
Yes.
hear my keys, and they know I'm coming.
You better look alive when she comes in there.
So the last call is for you guys to get up is at 7:10 a.m. and
Yes.
you get your nice little good morning. And then there is something that we have done a little different this year. When you guys were leaving out the door is you have coffee.
Oh my gosh, the coffee is so good.
So I do make them coffee in the mornings. That's just a little extra perk, pardon the pun.
Yes.
What is your getting up?
I mean, it took a lot of adjusting because usually my mom was the one getting me up.
Right.
I was not an alarm person. Sleep
Never
through.
have been.
My mom would have to turn my light on. It took a little bit.
Mhm.
But it does help because I'm not getting up as early to go to school either. So usually I'd be waking up at 6. Now I'm waking up at 7:10, something like that. So I had to get up.
Last year you were in Savannah, which was way on the other side of campus. And then now you're at Columbia. So that is a little bit of time, more time in the mornings, right?
Definitely. I think it wasn't like too much of a time difference because even the walk from Savannah is not that long, but we were still getting up like at least 5-10 minutes earlier just so we could make the trek across the hill. But it's definitely much easier now because Columbia is right there at the cafeteria. So
Location. But you had a nice experience in Savannah as well, because we're just only highlighting Columbia today because, because I came over and was asking a favor. But I do believe that next year, the other houses may be highlighted as well, because this is an interesting part of this experience, which doesn't get seen very often. So,
And like when you tour, you see the houses, but you don't see what residential life is like. Like you see what the school does and what we do after school, but you don't see what we do as a house after school. And I feel like that is something that, we just wanted to give you a little insight in, because it is a big role in your day-to-day life here, and it's something that you have to adjust to, and it's a big adjustment.
Yeah, like during touring, you don't necessarily get to see a actual room, but when you actually move in, you realize you can make it as personal as you want. Put rugs in there, just personalize it yourself. It's just really nice, and it makes it feel really at home.
okay, so once we're coming back next year, so you guys remember I had house leaders last year, right? And y'all remember that was Sierra and Kaylee, our seniors. But now I'm going to depend on you guys to be the house leaders. Okay, so what is that going to look like with you guys being the veterans? You've had a year or two under your belt, or two. What do you look forward to in, we'll have some new students in our house. And not only that, but you guys may be going to another house that's not cast in stone that you get to stay at the next house. As a matter of fact, they really want you to experience going to another house. So as a veteran going into another house, what would you teach the new girls?
My biggest advice for new students coming into Res Life is to learn to work with your housemates, learn to work with your RA, and don't try to make trouble. Try to work with it. Try to go with the flow. It is definitely a big change, and it's just something you have to learn to do. If you're not one to keep your room clean, just that once a week, make sure it looks nice. Or if you are one to keep your room clean, maybe you can help a friend that doesn't. Or, just the simple rules like, with your medications. That's something for me. I have headaches all the time. Advil, that was something I needed. And just give it to your RA. Let your RA handle it. Let your RA help you and learn to function with those that are in your house. And not just, be there. Be a group, not just an individual.
Definitely be yourself when you first come into your house, because that includes decorating your room. Make it homey. Don't be afraid to talk to anyone in the house, especially at house meetings. That's a great time to just say how you're feeling, get response back, and just be friends with everyone in your house.
And I feel like our seniors did a good job of this, but, ask other people if you have questions. I did Miss FFA this year, and Sierra, our senior, was a veteran at that. She'd done it 2 years in a row, and I was like, hey, I need help with this. This is crazy.
She was very helpful.
And just, you're there, you live together, work with each other, use your resources, help each other out. And like Jackie said, don't be afraid to be yourself.
And I wanted all of you to do Miss FFA. Because
yes.
I love pageants, number
Miss
one.
Meehan is the pageant queen.
However, I think it's a very good experience learning how to interview and how to be on stage and how to carry yourself. So that is really good. That's really good advice. I thought that the Sierra and Kaylee did a very good job of helping with projects too.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for the season finale of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water, highlighting the Columbia Residence Hall. Please be sure to join us next season for a brand new school year.
Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe. For more information on the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture, visit our website at delahowe.sc.gov.